My name is Kristin Ciriello Pothier. I lead our life sciences sector for KPMG. That's across consulting, tax, deal advisory, and strategy and audit. And my background, 30 years in the space, a scientist by training, and then turned over into the business of medicine and build consulting companies all the way across the space for my career, and spend all of my time really looking at innovation in life sciences, especially around biopharma, precision medicine, and international ways of growing our sector. It's an excellent question because clearly we've stopped counting deals and we've started making them count. At the end of the day, when we look at this and we look at the volume continuing to come down, the assets in this space are very precious. The assets in this space are complex. And each of our companies that we're working with are diligencing every single asset to look at it to be a prime in their portfolio, to be something that really counts in their portfolio rather than it just being another layering upon layering within the biopharma landscape. And so as we look at this from a perspective of how many deals in the space and the level of authenticity of the IP, the level of excitement around all of it, we're seeing that all ratchet up as the deals continue to come down. And as we look at it also from a therapeutic area perspective, the typical assets are still very exciting and very hot. Oncology continues to be very hot. We just came back from ASCO in Chicago. ASCO is the largest oncology conference in the world. We all sat over the weekend in Chicago and talked through the latest assets, the latest level of layering, complexity, and mixing and combination of therapies in the space. And all of our largest pharma all came to the table, all brought anywhere from 50 to 100 people each to sit and talk through the IP and the excitement around the space. So oncology is always very hot, and all of the different modalities to go along with it. We also see a tremendous amount in chronic disease, especially around GLP-1s and everything surrounding GLP-1s. GLP-1 is just one part of the overall management of an obese patient, of a cardiovascular patient, even an oncology patient. Because as we see the effects of GLP-1 continue to expand beyond just diabetes management and obesity management into the overall holistic care of a patient, regardless of where they are in their journey, what we're seeing is GLP-1s have incredible chronic disease, good effects as we move the patient from being just an obese patient to being something that's so much more. The manufacturing of more individualized therapies and more complex therapies like cell and gene therapy continue to be an area where companies diligence it a lot more than any other type of manufacturing. The reason for that is because the manufacturing still does need to be more regionalized. You can't ship cell and gene therapy from one part of the globe to the other part of the globe. It does still have to be much more of a corridor-based strategy where it's an America strategy or it's an EMA strategy or it's an Asia Pacific strategy. So when our companies are looking for assets in the cell and gene space and they're diligencing assets in the cell and gene space, they really are looking for where is the manufacturing today? Are they getting those manufacturing plants with the deal or not? Because we are seeing deals where a buyer is saying we need those manufacturing plants and a seller is saying I'm not giving them up. And if that's the case, the value of the deal completely changes because that means that the acquirer needs to understand where they are going to manufacture, where they're going to manufacture in each region, and how much they need to put into upskilling and upscaling a manufacturing plant in whatever geo they are missing. It completely changes the valuation of the deal. And it is something that right up front, we are seeing a lot more companies ask for and value into the deal. Another thing that we are seeing is even though last year around tariffs, around everything related to bringing back manufacturing much more to regional based approaches, we are seeing that continue to be questioned. And we are seeing the value of that balance of creating something in the Americas or creating something in Asia Pacific from the new to just then saying, well, no, you know what, we're going to pay the tariffs, we're going to redo the way we're thinking about our overall P&L, and we're going to change that to just have manufacturing in a number of different places throughout the world. So we are still seeing that very careful discussion rather than a knee-jerk reaction and saying we're just going to build a plant in the Americas now, or we're just going to really work through that. That isn't the smart capabilities of our companies these days are really looking into that in a very different way.